Welcome back, my Jedi friends. And today, I bring you controversy. The meerkat is wrong. The meerkat is trying to fool you. The meerkat has called you into a fuckwit zone. So this reference will only possibly be relevant to anywhere that knows about Go Compare. Because if you're in the UK, you've been hammered by adverts saying compare the meerkat, blah, 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 compare the market, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. Blatant shout out to Go Compare. I've never used it myself. But I do know that the whole thing is compare the market, compare the meerkat. And the reason that I've used this slightly controversial topic is because people on the path of self-improvement or wanting to do better in the world, one of the biggest mistakes that they make is comparing themselves to other people. So there's where the analogy is fitting in, folks. For anyone that's wondering, for all you animal lovers, come on to tell me that meerkats are lovely. I'm sure they are. I've even watched a couple of episodes of Meerkat Manor. It was tragic. The poor meerkats, they got absolutely ravaged. I ended up quite sad watching a few episodes of Meerkat Manor. I'm not sure I recommend that to anyone, folks. It's brutal for meerkats. They have to stand up long time in the sun looking out for predators. Just imagine that. Sounds a bit like in the UK at the moment. But maybe that's a controversial subject too far right now, folks. Too far, because grooming gangs are not only found in stables over here at the moment, but again, I've gone slightly off-piste. I've gone off-piste, folks. We're here to talk about how comparing yourself is one of the biggest killers, especially for people with high empathy. It's easy to find yourself in circles working in the energy world of finding people that have incredible talents. And it's easy to see someone that's got an incredible talent and think, I'd love to be able to do that. And in doing this, folks, what we do is we disown our own talents, our own natural gifts. So let me bring this to life from my own reality. When I first went into the world of energy, I saw exactly that. People with incredible healing skills, people that could read energy, people that could read auras, people that could tell me stuff about myself that there's no way they could have possibly know unless they were a little bit tapped in. And I was thinking, I'm a complete fraud in these circles. They all have gifts that blow me away. They blow away my skill set. And I was crippled by this, telling myself I wasn't good enough, that I couldn't work with energy in the same way that they could, that they had much better talents than I did. They were tapped in. It seemed a little bit unfair. It took me years to come to the conclusion that what I brought to the mix was a very different set of talents that none of the other people had. No one else in that room had the talents that I had, but I hadn't been focusing on them. I had spent all of my time looking at other people's talents and thinking, wow, wouldn't it be nice to have that? And there's the lesson, folks. I mean, there really isn't anything more to it than that. I'm just going to keep explaining the same point. The same point being that you have individual gifts that are unique to you. And if you're usually a highly sensitive person or empathic, you're probably busy comparing yourself to other people, looking at other people with incredible talents, telling yourself that you're not good enough at that, or you could be better at this, or maybe that this is an area of your life that you need to improve. Now, there may well be areas of your life that you need to improve, for sure, folks. That's part of the package. But owning your own unique gifts is usually the missing link. And that's where going compare and meerkats, they don't really come in. You don't want to compare it to anyone, folks. It's nice to know the skill sets of those around you. It's like nice to know things that you could aspire to. But let's face it, in the world of energy, there's some people that have gifts that I may spend my whole life and never achieve, especially when it comes to stuff like direct communication with spirit guides or actually being able to physically read an energy field by seeing energy around people. Now, these are just some of the talents of people in my energy group that they have. And I felt energy envy in the day, folks, thinking, wow, wouldn't it be cool to be able to do that? Wouldn't it be easier to read energy if I had this skill set? But then when you go down the nuance of that, folks, that being able to see energy readings doesn't mean that you're brilliant at interpreting it. And it can be it can be as a curse as well as a gift to people that have a little bit of information, but not enough. You may misinterpret the data. So, whereas when healing and not knowing how it's working and trusting that it works correctly is a much more pure form of energy because it's not subject to my filter, it's not subject to my interpretation. It is pure and it is source and it's exactly what it's meant to be. If people don't understand that, there's my gift, folks. There's my gift. Having gone through the school of hard knocks path and been on the energy journey for the best part of 25 years now, just under. But the point being that I had to do it myself. I had to learn the school of hard knocks. I had to go through a lot of doubt. I had to hit a lot of brick walls to get to the awareness that I do now. So when I work with people working through energy, I have a much broader understanding of the issues that could come up, the things that could go wrong, and the common misunderstandings that people have when they work with energy. That is my gift and my skill set because I never had any of these other gifts. I wasn't tapped in. I didn't have direct communications with my spirit guides. I don't see an energy field around the people that I work with. I don't get insights from above. Well, actually, I do, but I don't hear voices to get them. I channel. I just trust what comes into my mind. But even that took years to trust what was coming through me. So the point being, folks, is that when you are focused on the gifts of other people or have some sort of barometer of what you'd like to achieve based on other people's skill sets, what you do is you take away from your own. And that is one of the biggest mistakes in this world, in the world of energy, in the world of personal development, in the world of I just want to be better. You be better, you become better by owning and nurturing your own gifts, not by comparing yourself to other people's. Now, if you have a certain skill set, it's great to find someone who's got mastery in that area so that you can evolve your skill set. Now, that's a different conversation, folks. That's about evolving what you already had. Now, I would say for myself, for example, even in my early teens, I had very good rapport skills because my background was listen, don't talk, just listen. And the reason that I took all of my challenges that I had, because if I talked without thinking or listening first, I might misjudge a situation. It could get me in trouble. Having a fucked up family has benefits, folks. And now I can own those benefits. But it was always important for me to measure energy to assess a situation before I opened my mouth. Now, that came back as a reward because that has been a default throughout my teens and my 20s. Made me a good listener. It made me a good nurse. It made me very empathic. It made me see things that other people didn't see. It made me realize that people will often heal themselves if I say nothing. And there's an insight, folks. There's almost a separate video for this, but this was my journey. It's my journey, taking things that fucked me up or could have fucked me up as a kid and turning them into gifts and then nurturing those gifts. But those gifts weren't always nurtured, folks, because I was so busy comparing myself to everyone else and thinking I wasn't good enough. When in actual fact, my rapport building skills exceeded anyone that I've ever met. Now, there's a big one. Oh, do they really, Adam? Do you really think you're that good? Well, maybe there are other people that I have met that might be on my level or slightly above, possibly, folks. But there's certain things I'm really, really good at, and it's taken me a long time that I can stand here firm and own that shit. Oh, that's big-headed, Adam. Oh, how dare you say all that? Well, no, you've got to own your gifts, folks. Own your gifts. There's plenty of things that I'm shit at, and there's every single person on this planet has a skill set that excels mine in certain areas. There's many areas I'm not an expert and I'm not that great at, but building relationships is something that I'm very good at. Building rapport, understanding the human condition, working with energy. These are my skill sets. Tapping into my spirit guides. No, there's a cross. No, can't do that. Channeling and becoming someone else. Well, no, can't do that. I can channel, but I can't become someone else. I can't channel ascended masters, not to my knowledge anyway. Levitation, no, I can't do that, folks. Am I a good spiritual leader? No, I would be terrible. Absolutely not. Do I live a pure life? No, no, definitely not. Am I a diet expert? I absolutely get an X there. My diet is definitely below average. So the thing is, as an empath, as somebody that is sensitive to energy, it's very easy to find the things that you're not good at. And I could list them. I could sit here and almost make the whole video things I'm not good at, which is why it is so important to own the stuff that you are good at, my Jedi friends. And if you don't know what you're good at, find your five closest friends, phone them up or send them a message and say, look, please, can you tell me why are we friends? And what do you think my Jedi qualities, my top gifts are? It was that exercise that really woke me up to this. I'd never considered that building rapport was one of my Jedi gifts until my friends, three of my closest friends, told me that I'm better than anyone that they've ever met at doing it. And these are people that would not bullshit me. And I know I'm pretty good at it because I had to be in customer facing jobs before I came into business. I was in banking, I was in catering, I was in nursing. All of them were client facing positions. And I was good at maintaining relationships. I was good at reasoning with people. I was good at getting people to like and trust me. Because I'm generally a likable and trustworthy chap, unless you're an arsehole, folks, and then I won't be quite so likable. But that's been a development that I've had later in life. If you'd caught me in my 20s, I was the nicest guy in the room. Like, I wouldn't have said boo to a goose. I'd have found some way to just let everything go, except I hadn't. But I didn't know that. But that's another video for another day. Indeed, I've already recorded videos on this stuff, folks. So this is what I'm saying. You have a set of superpower gifts. Now, that's not to say that there's plenty that you couldn't be better at or that you're not good at, but you don't need me to tell you that because you're probably a master in telling yourself that already. The important part of this video for highly sensitive people, for good people, for empaths, for healers is to own what you're good at. And if you haven't owned that yet, get on the fucking phone to your five closest friends and ask them, my Jedi friends, ask them straight out. What do you think my top skills are? Now, if you really want to take this to another level, you'll ask them for what your weaknesses are as well. And they'll give it you from a place of wanting to help you. Knowing to identify what others see as your weaknesses versus what you do, and what others see as your strengths versus what you do can be a very powerful exercise. A very powerful exercise, my Jedi friends, if you dare to ask the questions. If you dare to ask. So, if you are really looking to expand your awareness and own what I'm talking about in this video, ask your five closest friends. What are my top skills? What are my weaknesses? And see what comes back. It will be an eye-opening thing for you, my Jedi friends, if you've never done this before. So there you go, little exercise. Dare you to try it. And I dare you to try it and then get in the comments. And if you get in the comments and you haven't done it, then, well, and come out with some sort of random bollocks, well, I'm not really that interested. What I am interested in is anyone that's brave enough to do this exercise and then come back and say what they got out of it. There you go. My task, my mission, should you choose to accept it. And this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Well, my Jedi friends, go out, test this. Let me know what you think. Let me know the results that come back. I'll be very interested to find out. Go out, own your gifts, own your talent, and connect with your friends because all of these are good things anyway. And if you want more of my little sort of ramblings on life and energy, do subscribe to the channel, folks. There'll be plenty more. Speaking of which, there's another one just there.